जाए। Hi friends, my name is Neeta Singh and today I will tell you a little about myself. I have been in the corporate life for the last 25 years and very secretly I had also made a bucket list which comprised 80% of travel. I've been wanting these breaks and I do get time, I do travel, and today I thought I will just share my experiences with all of you. Very recently, I and my friend Sapna were discussing that we wanted to take a break and travel to one of the places. We were looking at all the websites, the different sites, places that we were wanting to visit. So we finally zeroed into our own very Kashmir, and that is also known as the Switzerland of our country. It is a very, very nice and a scenic and a beautiful place. Now, the challenge was which would be the best season to visit. And of course, we both loved snow and we wanted to get the first feel of the snow. So we decided way back in December and January that we are going to travel in the month of March, which would be very convenient also because it was not extreme cold. While we knew that there's going to be a lot of snow, but I thought March was the best way to go, and we already did bookings of the tickets and the hotels. And you know what? Fortunately, we got the best prices during that time. I think rock bottom prices that anybody could dream of. Very soon, and in the end, towards the end of the video, I'll share the basic plan, the itineraries that we had, the locations we went, the hotels where we stayed, and the food that all of you should be eating and enjoying when you're very much in Kashmir. So the 10th of March is what we decided, and we had planned for this way back in January. I and Sapna quickly got onto the flight on the very day, and we were so super excited. I went and picked her up from a place. We took the flight and we landed in Srinagar. Srinagar is also known as Kashmir, and when we landed there, we waited for the cab guy to come. When the cab guy came, he, a very choppy and a happy guy, he introduced himself saying, "Ma'am, मेरा नाम जहांगीर है." We said, "Acha Jahangir ji, very nice to meet you." And he started loading our luggage in the vehicle. And then he said, "आपको पता क्या? आज मेरी नौकरी का पहला दिन है." I and Sapna looked at each other whether this guy was really conversant with the roads and did he know the location and all. But he was very happy and he says, "Madam, मुझे पूरा मालूम है, आप बैठिए, आज मेरे को आपके साथ travel करना है अगले 10 दिन तक." So I and Sapna were again skeptical whether this guy really knew the route. Then halfway through the drive he says, "Ma'am, Google Map लगा लोगे? Radisson होटल का रास्ता नहीं मिल रहा मुझे." That was the end, and I knew I was going to be navigating throughout the journey. So that happened, and it was very nice. We took us to the hotel. Radisson was the place where we booked. Beautiful place, lovely hotel. The carpets were so beautiful, and the staff was so courteous. We landed there, and they greeted us to hot kahwa, tea, and whatever they wanted. Everyone, I must say, you must try kahwa there, which is a hot aromatic drink, and it has all the almonds and kesar and everything. I got a little greedy and I asked them for a second helping, and they were very polite enough to give me another. In fact, they coaxed me to have the other glass also, which I was like happy, and I refused politely. Then we finally checked into a room, and we were not willing to stay in the room. It was such a beautiful day. We quickly dumped our luggage, freshened up, and we called Jahangir. Jahangir साहब बताइए कहाँ घूमना है? They said, "Ma'am, Boulevard चलिए. That is the best place for all of you to travel and take a walk." So I and Sapna again decided. We said, "Okay, fine." We headed towards Boulevard. Such a beautiful place. Boulevard is a walk around Dal Jheel where you can see the scenic mountains, the calm water, shikaras. They are all parked. They do not take shikar. They do not take rides in the evening, and that also depends on the weather. If the weather is cold and it is windy, it is advisable not to take shikara because it is not safe. So we just did the walk in the evening, and then there is this place called Makki Point. You must taste that makki there. It tastes the same, but it's just that the weather and the aroma of makki being boiled and the being steamed out, it was awesome. So we took that walk. It's a good 2-kilometer walk, 3-kilometer walk, and it warmed us up. I've clicked a few beautiful pictures out there. You can make out the scene, the colorful shikaras, and the most mesmerizing walk that I've ever had. We finished in the evening, and then we got back to the hotel. We were not willing to come away from there, but we had an early start the next morning, and we were heading to Gulmarg. And while dropping us back, Jahangir said, "Madam, कल आप 10 बजे तैयार हो जाइएगा, हमको गुलमर्ग निकलना है." Then we inquired कि गुलमर्ग में करने के लिए क्या क्या है. So he said, वहाँ पर आप स्नो का स्कूटर चला सकते हैं, आप गोंडोला में बैठ सकते हैं, और उसके लिए आपको पूरा दिन लगेगा. आप चाहो तो स्नो स्कीइंग भी कर सकते हैं. So I and Sapna were very excited that this gentleman had given us a brief about the activities that we could do there. Finally, we came back home, and the next day we were ready and up and about. Jahangir gave us a call. Ma'am, हम तैयार हैं चलने के लिए. Shall we go? So after a hearty breakfast, we both went and sat in the vehicle. Jahangir Saab put on lovely music, and we drove all the way to Gulmarg. On the way to Gulmarg, we started getting the fresh snowfall. Sapna was so excited. We were sitting in a Scorpio, and Sapna asked the driver to just park to the side. We got off there and we started enjoying the snow. The snow was becoming heavier as we moved up towards Gulmarg. I remember that the Scorpio which we were going through should have had four chains on all the four wheels. That gives it a little traction when you're getting into the snow, and more good mobility, and it becomes much more easier for you to travel. But it so happened that our driver had just put the chain on one wheel. Anyhow, we managed to get there. A trip which was supposed to be only for 2 hours. Gulmarg is hardly 2 hours from Srinagar, and it took us about 4 or 5 hours, and we reached Gulmarg in the evening. It was kind of a nightmare because it was snowing heavily, and there was a big traffic jam, and all the vehicles were moving like at a very slow pace. But en route, what happened was, fortunately, we met three more ladies who were staying in our hotel, and we became such good friends, and we happened to have the next 2 days which were fun filled. We checked in the very next day again. We came out, and we decided to first take a walk around the snow-clad mountains. It's a beautiful area, and it's a big landscape. It's like a valley. It's surrounded by hills, and that fresh snow was there. It was one playground for all of us. When we started walking, the walk was very good, and we fortunately had very good guides who told us to wear gum boots and take long coats and all, and they also helped take us to the gondola and the snow ride. So while we were walking there, we were told that we need to be careful of the soft snow where you might just put our feet and just sink into a little deeper. So the guide did a very good job with us. Finally, we got into the gondola. The gondola ride was good fun. We six of us got onto the same gondola, and we did that trip. They took us to the top of the mountain, but there was more of snow. And what do we see there? There is a huge population and so many snowmobiles out there. The scooter that he was talking about, Jahangir ji, so I finally took one. And the first few minutes, we were all sitting behind the rider, and he was taking us on different slopes and up and down. It was just beautiful, but we had butterflies. Me being a driving enthusiast, I just asked him, "Bhaiya, ek baar main chalau." So he was a little skeptical whether I will be able to handle a snowmobile and all. So he simply said, "Madam, आराम से चलाना. एक गाड़ी का cost 18 लाख का है. अगर पुर्जा टूट गया तो मेरा तो काम रुक जाएगा." So I assured him that I know how to ride and I know how to drive, and that I am a safe driver. So finally, looking at my confidence, he first took me on a plain slope, and he was sitting behind me, guiding me, go left, go right. Maneuvering takes a little hang on. Like, you need to understand the dynamics of how to handle a snowmobile. But eventually, looking at my confidence and the pace, he started taking me on slopes which I couldn't see with my bare eyes. But he could, and there was so much of fog. He started taking me. I said, "Bhaiya, mujhe rasta nahi dikh raha hai." He said, "No, madam, seedhe chaliye, left chaliye." But it was the most amazing ride. The only thing that happened was I was not wearing gloves, so my hands went totally red and I couldn't feel them anymore. Finally, after that long happy drive, we all came back. It was still snowing and the visibility was zero. Just like myself, there were so many enthusiasts who was not taking a no for the snowfall, or they were falling on the snow, skidding, but they were not taking a no. Everybody was just enjoying the ride. We all came back. And then we sat down. Me and Sapna really sat down and had hot Maggies and soup and all. I think Maggie is one of the most favorite foods that we have on any hill station that you go. It's the fastest and the most appreciated meal of the day. So we sat down, took a break, clicked a few pictures, and finally we came back in the gondola, and we came back to the boot camp, which was Gulmarg. Again, when we got off the gondola, our guide was very excited, saying, "Ma'am, aapko snow skiing karna hai?" I looked at Sapna. I said, "I've tried my hand at skiing at Ollie, and I don't think I'll be able to do that because the shoes weigh 10 kgs. It's like 5 kg each, and you should know how to balance yourself on the skis." So those of you who know how to ski, I think it's an amazing time for you to just be there when it's snowing and have a great time snowing. I and Sapna just happily clicked some pictures, took a round, and we walked back to the hotel. So that was day one for us in Gulmarg, and it did not stop snowing the whole day. We came back, we settled in, we met our friends, we sung a few songs. Again, the evening was a amazing evening. Good friends we made. They were from South actually. And the very next day we again planned we had to go back to Srinagar, but we heard the next day morning that we have been snowed in, and there were no roads open till the clearance was given to us. We all had to stay in the hotel. So we settled in after a breakfast, spent around time clicking some pictures and some videos that you can see. And around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we got to know the roads have been cleared up, and that's when we started and we went back to Srinagar once again. Kashmir happens to be the focal point, wherein if you travel to Gulmarg, when you have to go to Sonmarg or you have to go to Pahalgaon, you actually have to come back to the base, which is your Kashmir, and also known as Srinagar. So these are the first 3 days of my travel. Please do like and subscribe my channel. In the upcoming videos, I will be talking about Pahalgaon, Sonmarg, Wadiyan, where we stayed, what we ate, the delicacies that you should try. So please stay tuned and keep watching my channel. Thank you.